Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy to.
I always take like way too big of a wrong bong rip right before I start these podcasts.
I literally just did the same thing.
Yeah, you're a bong smoker?
I am a bong smoker. Satan's most economical way, in my opinion.
I feel like it's like looked down upon, you know what I
It's
mean?
definitely looked down upon, and I'm just like, y'all can fuck off.
I almost got kicked out of, I don't know if you know what the Golden Club is, but West Side Gun, I was there for an album listening party and I thought, everyone's smoking weed, let me bring my bong in. And they thought I was sneaking a bottle in the club and security
Oh wow,
like so I was like, all right, I can't be bringing my bong around with me.
wow, yeah, yeah. No, you can smoke all the weed, but you can't. You gotta buy some alcohol though.
But it's like exactly, it's like you can roll up weed in there, but if you try to smoke out of some glass, they think you're some like weirdo.
Yeah, yeah. I don't get that because I'm like, I don't. Like, I have asthma. I'm not trying to smoke tobacco for real. Like, and just like always having to have papers around, like it just gets to be a pain. Like glass is easier for me.
You have like a special piece, or do you just have like a regular ass bong?
I have one regular ass bong that's made by the company Tang that my partner got for me, and it's like supposedly unbreakable, but I haven't tested that theory and have no plans to. And then I have this other one that's made by this Portland, Oregon, uh, like I don't know, like maker, I guess, small business owner, named under the name Wasted Water Pipes, and they basically will just repurpose like vintage decanters and then sell them with the sets they come with as well sometimes. So you can buy them with like cups and like trays.
That's
Uh,
it.
so I bought one of the sets from them because I just thought it was really cute, and I moved into a new place and I wanted to have some decor, but I also wanted to have more than one bong because I know a lot of bong smokers. So I'm like, whenever you come over, you can have your own piece.
Oh, that's cool. I don't
Yeah,
trust my mother. I don't trust my friends with my glass. I'm like, they're gonna break that shit immediately.
I hear you. I have carpet in the living room though, so I feel like there is that. Although I had to stop buying like ash catchers and percolators because I broke one and then my girlfriend broke the other one, and I was just like, this isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have two bongs. Shout out to Wasted Water Pipes for sure.
Wait, let me show you mine. I got it over here. Excuse my outfit. I'm dressed like shit right now.
That's all good, man. You just in the crib.
I got this one.
Hold on, it says this. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. That's tight.
All glass, even like
Yeah,
this is
even
glass.
the
So
straw. That's
I
very
like
cool.
this one because you can smoke it in the car. You can just drive
Yeah,
by people.
it's like you're just drinking a drink.
Exactly. I have a hot coffee one too. Shout out Hitman Glass for doing that.
You know?
How you feel about percolators is how I feel about like disposables. I lose every disposable
Oh
I've
no,
ever
same
bought.
man. No, for sure, same. Literally same. It's like a huge pain in my ass.
Because I'll get so excited when I get one, and then I'll literally have it 2 days, and then I'm like, oh shit, I left it.
Yeah, that just reminded me that maybe I need to take a little trip to New Jersey and get some cartridges before I go on tour at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Because,
So I guess I should give like I saw you. I had seen you guys, but I saw you first at Wilco Fest,
yeah,
which is so funny because I feel like neither of us are in that world.
yeah, I'm certainly not. And like we got the invite. Like I knew that Jeff Tweedy like, had he's into punk, so like that was cool. And when I was like first getting into indie rock, I definitely was listening to Yankee Hotel Foxtrot a lot, but it never really went further than that for me. But it's cool that they wanted us to be a part of that. My manager was like, "Yo, you should try to you should be there for the jam and like Like you should get on. You should stay like for the for their jam session that they have later with all the artists. And I'm like, bro, all that's gonna result in is me staying too long at this festival where there's an open bar in the artist area, and I'm going to be drunkenly freestyling on stage with them, and that's not going to be the kind of viral moment that that we need for sure.
I
Like
think
it's
that would
gonna
have
be
been
me
amazing. You drunk
me saying
freestyling
all
with
of the
Tweety.
worst shit, me saying all of the worst shit I could possibly say, like on fucking stage with Wilco and all these other white people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Because
good,
I
bro.
I guess I might be a dickhead, but I'm the one where I'm like, if I'm at a concert, I'm gonna roll up. But and I go to that concert with I go to that festival every year with my mom because my mom's a
Uh-huh,
big fan. But then
uh-huh.
like I remember smoking a joint and they give me the dirtiest looks and shit. I'm like, oh, this is a different vibe.
I'd be like, y'all can shut up. It's legal. It's
Yeah, it was
legal in
in
this
Mass.
state. What you say?
It's in Mass. Like
That's what
Mass
I'm
is
saying. Yeah, it's legal. Y'all can shut up. Like,
yeah.
oh, y'all smoking cigarettes out here with children around. Like, please,
Drinking
please.
IPAs.
Yeah, like please.
IPAs are way more dangerous than weed.
That is for damn certain. I've never woken up fucking vomiting with from weed. Tell you what I have though, is IPAs, which I drink every fucking night. So
Hell no. I feel like you really are. I'm actually surprised you smoke so much and drink with how good of a performer you are. Does that affect you at all?
well, it has, especially with the drinking. Like I have to like I realized probably like a year ago that I can't drink I can't be drunk before sets anymore because the alcohol dries out my voice actually. And it's like I needed to like really stick with just water or like just non-alcoholic beverages or like and like bet shit that isn't like super sugary. And like I can smoke. I mean, I'm going to regardless. I'm high every single day, and but like I can't like I just basically like, can't really overdo it with smoking because it also will dry out my vocal cords and then I just like my voice gets like screechy. But yeah, like aside from that, like I've kind of found a sweet spot where I can have like one or two or maybe three if I'm lucky drinks. Like and I'll still be all right. And then if I just don't drink at all before our set, and then I'm just like drinking on stage, then I'll usually be fine as well because I don't have enough time in a set to actually really get drunk. So it's like that's also helpful. But yeah, just like I had to learn that for sure because just like over time, I was just like seeing so many videos of like performances we've done, and I fucking hate the way my voice sounded. And I'm also, I'm overweight and I'm in my 30s, so I have to like really be conscious of how much energy I use in a day anyway because I'm not the youngest I've ever been. So like and I'm yeah I'm also I can't stress this enough. I am not in shape. So I so it's just like between all those risk factors and then also being an asthmatic on top of that, it's like I have to really move with I'm not gonna say intention because that's really not how it is. Like when I'm on stage, I'm just letting my intrusive thoughts take over and I just do whatever pops into my head first. But like I will say that I have to move with more thought given to like how much energy things require of me now that I'm at the age that I'm at.
But you know what sucks about that? Because I agree with everything you
So
said.
many
It's mad
things.
funny you even say that. Because I was looking at, I turned to the side, looked in the mirror, and then it looked at my stomach and was like, damn, bro, you need to get shit right. This happened 30 minutes ago. So it's mad funny you say that. But I feel like the same impulsive shit that makes you want to enjoy like weed, like me enjoy weed or food, is the same shit that makes me creative or makes makes me feel like I can get into the flow state when I'm performing. And it's
Totally.
like a shitty ass double-edged sword.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the real point of it all is finding a balance between the two.
Yeah. But like when you're younger, you just want to create. You don't think about that. And then do you feel like you liked your creative mind better when you were younger and not giving a fuck, or now that you have more like data in the memory bank?
No, definitely now, because when I was younger, I definitely still gave a fuck, but I didn't understand why I was the way that I was. And then when I smoked weed for the first time and I experienced like my anxiety calming down, I was like, oh shit, this is probably how like most people feel like all the time. Like people like this is like I feel like I'm like way less annoying now. Whereas like when I'm like, you know, sober and constantly well maybe I should say unmedicated, constantly like overthinking things.
Yeah.
It's I've become like a nuisance to myself and to those around me.
When did you smoke weed for the first time?
I was like 14.
Oh,
I
you
just
were
like
young.
yeah, I watched Dazed and Confused on fucking uh VH1, and I was just like, I think I want to smoke weed. Like, I think I want to try it, and I just like decided like by myself, like on my own. I was like, I'm gonna try weed. So
Where'd you get it?
I started asking around at school, and this dude who's this dude whose name I still remember but probably shouldn't say. We'll just say his name was. We'll say his name was ZK. um, he like we were cool, and I was just like and I was like he seems like he probably knows, and he was just like yeah. I was like you know where I can get it. I'm like and he's like yeah from me I sell it, and I'm like oh tight. So I gave him like I would think I think he gave me a dub. I was buying dubs at that time, just 2 grams, $20, and
Those were the days. I roll that shit up in one
bro,
joint now.
bro, bro.
Those were the days, bro.
When I could smoke swag and just have like life changing fucking experiences, like yeah, dude. But in a way though, I'm
You
like,
ever see that meme where it's like dudes take mushrooms once and learn about what feelings are? I feel
yeah,
like
exactly. Realize shit that teenage girls realize when they're 13. Yeah, yeah. I've seen that shit. Um, I fucking smoked that shit out of a homemade bong that I made from a Gatorade water bottle. I used a pen cap as the stem, and then I used the bowl from my I was in the orchestra in my school, and so I used the mouthpiece that you would put into the instrument to what I'm saying to play. I used that as the bowl, and that
Wait,
shit
what were
was
you playing?
euphonium, a baritone horn. So that shit worked well. I learned how to. I just like learned how to. I was like learn. I was trying to learn how to smoke. I was like I looked it up
You were
on
like
the internet.
MacGyver in it. Were you Googling it or were you
Yeah,
just
I googled. I
figuring
was
it
just like, 'cause I was like, how do you smoke this shit? Because I didn't have a pipe or anything. So I was like, so I just looked up how to like how people smoke weed, and I saw what a bong was, and I was like, this looks tight. And I just like, and it was just like, I just figured out pretty quickly how to make one, which is so funny because like engineering and math is like not my fucking forte at all. But if you need me to figure out how if we need to smoke weed, I will figure out a fucking way. Like it's the way my creativity gets turned on when we need to figure out how to make something to smoke weed
You
out
just
of.
have the
It's
weed in your hand and you're like
bro, bro. I remember we did the cruise with Coheed and Cambria, and we got weed on the boat. Like our guitar player bought weed when he went into the Bahamas and bought weed, and we were like trying to figure out how to smoke it, and I was just like, nah, dude, no problem. Like they were selling these like fucking uh cardboard like containers of water, and I just made a bong out of that same ass way, same
They
ass
say
fucking
that's
way.
strict. Smoking weed on cruises is supposed to be like,
It's like, see, I didn't know what the protocol was, and I just wasn't trying to fuck around. I had a shitload of weed, and nobody, and I was just like, I'm not trying to like get, dude, I had everything that we needed, but I left it at our friend's house
yeah,
so my
you're in
parents don't.
international waters. They could throw
Yeah,
you
exactly.
off that
I'm not trying
boat.
to fuck around. I've had to deal with the law enough while on tour. Like I'm good. So I don't test shit if I don't have to. But then we get on the boat and no one fucking checks us in any way, and I'm like, this is bullshit.
You got like fucking an eighth up your ass. You're like,
That's
I
what I'm
didn't
saying.
even need to
I could have
do
just had
this.
it in my bag and no one would have did anything, man.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
yeah,
Did you get hella paranoid the first time?
honestly, like a little bit, but I don't. It's never really been that big of an issue for me, and I think that's largely because like paranoia is part of like my resting state, and it's like part of like my anxiety and shit. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very naturally a paranoid person. And before I started smoking weed, I was just like so wound up all the time, like about like people's perceptions of me and shit. Cause I got bullied a lot in school, so like it was like always I was always paranoid. I was always already paranoid about everybody around me like not liking me and shit.
What was your life trajectory before that? Like, what were you trying to do? What was your,
Uh, my life trajectory. Like, what do you mean?
like, what'd you want to do in life? Like, you said you were in the orchestra, but
Oh,
like,
dude, I've only ever wanted to play music. Like, well, that's not quite true. I wanted to try. I wanted to be a skateboarder too, but I learned quickly that that wasn't ever going to fucking happen. So I just like what that I learned. I started playing music when I was like 13 because that was when I realized that skateboarding was just not going to ever happen for me. So like and I was just I didn't know any other way that I could like make myself like appealing to girls. So I was just like fuck it, like I'm gonna start playing music because these two kids in my neighborhood are playing music and they were like my two of my closest friends at the time. And it's just
what was that group called?
bro. That group was called Victims of Society.
Bro, that's a
Three
great
suburban
first band
kids.
name. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I thought of it.
What was it like?
it
Was it hard?
was, it was. I mean, we were like 13, so it probably sounded like dog shit. But I remember we, it was supposed. I remember there was like I was trying to do like a lot of like death metal shit, and I was the vocalist, and I only did like the low growl vocals like while playing bass. Um, but yeah, we just like I don't know if we ever actually made it to making recordings, but we definitely played like local shows in my hometown. There was this church that would like let local bands play, and so like kids from like different schools in my town would always come to that shit. Like all of like the alt kids from like different scenes and shit, and they all are just like there was like a bunch of different bands, mostly from kids like older than me, and that's like how I started like learning about like local music and like how like shows happened and like what like just what they like what the beginnings of like what live entertainment is like and what it is was just like local shit in my town.
What were you
Uh,
listening to?
Mostly like new metal, and then slowly getting into like death metal and shit. And I was like, and like I was
Your
my
parents
dad.
listening to that type of shit or no?
Nah, dude, my dad was like raising me on like jazz fusion and like some like early rock and like R&B and funk and shit. Like he was like he's like really into music and like likes a lot of stuff. And my mom is as well. and but it was kind of like a just a joint effort between like the things that they were playing. But neither of them are like really like musically inclined. Although my mom could be if she had gotten the opportunities when she was younger, because she's a really beautiful singer. Um, but yeah, like yeah, it's pretty much the deal.
So you were listening to like new metal and shit.
Yeah, like because it was like 2003 around that time. No,
Hmm.
maybe yeah, like 2003. So no, 2006 maybe. God, how old am I? 92, 13. Yeah, yeah, it would be like 2005, 2006.
Any hip
So
hop at all?
I didn't start getting into rap until I was maybe like 15 or 16, just because like I didn't know anything about underground rap during that time. Like I knew about like a lot of like pop shit, but I just like during that like I knew about like huge rappers like like Busta Rhymes and shit like that. But I wasn't like an active listener, mostly just because like I was had a lot of internalized anti-blackness that I had still had to work through, and I was living in the burbs, and I was like surrounded by white people, and I was like only like I'd already only been like listening to like my parents weren't raising me on rap, that's for damn certain, and like I was like listening to like a lot of black music, but just like not that shit, and I didn't really see myself in a lot of the rap that was like popular at that time. Like I didn't like Wayne at the time. Um and I just like didn't know about the underground. Um but then
Is
I
that what you
started
were getting bullied about?
for sure, dude. It
Yeah,
was just like,
that was the yeah.
yeah, it's just like every single day you're the whitest black person I've ever met. Like really like and I'm like trying to like explain that like, rock music is also by black people and that I also still listen to black music. I'm like, I listen to jazz, but people just thought I was weird for that. And I get it, but it definitely like put me at odds with like everybody around me. I mean, also more so just because I didn't really like what was popular. Um, and I was just like pretty loud about it. But like once I started playing Tony Hawk and just like hearing other kinds, like hearing like shit that I felt like I could relate to more. Like they had like so much like Def Jux shit on there, and like as I got old, like later into my teen years, I started getting really into specifically like the Def Jux label. I was really into, and there's like a lot of like there's like basically like that video game really like changed my idea of what what rap like was and like what it could be, and that made me interested in like learning about the history of the genre and the culture. And then from there I've it just started me on a path of just like appreciating music in general, and just like finding something to like in almost everything. And it was like around that time when I started getting really into like Wu-Tang and shit, and Wu-Tang changed my mind even further because it was both gangsta but it was weird. And like for a long time I thought it had to be one or the other. So I just I feel like more than anything living in the burbs fucked me up. Like
Yeah.
then you know
That's the one thing that like so I'm 27.
uh,
So I guess I had the internet, but I didn't have social media. But I feel like now it's like cool to be a nerd about things. But before you didn't, if there was no one else around you that was nerdy about that same thing, you kind of felt like a loner with it. And that's what I liked about Wu-Tang Clan. And that's what I even like. That's why I first like West Side Gun, because I don't even like wrestling that much, but I like how nerdy he is about wrestling.
yeah, I mean I
Because I mean,
think
this is all One Piece figures behind me. Like, I'm a nerd
yeah
about shit. Like,
during so like, when I was I'm only a little bit older than you, and like during the time when I was Like, I was definitely a geeky kid. I wouldn't say I was a nerd because I don't. My grades weren't that good, so I wasn't
Is
like
a nerd
I was
just a
like
smart geek? Is that the
that's how I look at it. It's like
that's the
nerds.
equation?
Yeah, like nerds are like good students, and geeks just have niche interests. And like to me, that's the difference.
I never put the differential, but you're all right. You're right about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I feel like nerds and geeks are not the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
but I definitely felt like I was a fucking geeky ass kid because I was really I cared. I thought skateboarding was really sick, and I knew a lot about skateboarding, even though I couldn't fucking do it. I like knew a lot about music, even though all the music that I liked was like weird, corny. Like
Damn, that's so sad that you loved skateboarding so much, but you weren't good at it.
I still do. I think skateboarding is like one of like the most incredible things ever invented. Like
What
it's
about
like
it? What about it do you see the beauty in?
I mean the merging of sport and art is like very uncommon. It's practiced in a way where it promotes competition but also community, and like you want to you there is definitely like you want to be the best, and you want to be doing things that nobody else can do, but simultaneously like I don't know, because I was like never good, it just felt good just to be hanging out with people and doing stuff. Like I never felt like the sense of like self derision that I brought with me everywhere else in life, including music, honestly. And I talked to a lot of skaters, and they're like, "No, dude, skateboarding is fucking toxic." And I'm like, I think it really just depends on who you are and how you feel about it. Because I think
Anything that becomes more than a hobby is toxic. Everything is
exactly,
cool until it's not a hobby anymore.
exactly. That never happened for me with skateboarding, so I think that's part of why I look at it. But when it comes to music, like um, my friend Winston, who plays bass for us, um, he's like a pretty accomplished skateboarder, and he says he gets way more emotionally and spiritually out of music than he did from skateboarding, because the community is way less toxic. And I'm like, that's incredible to me, because I feel like the community of music is so deeply toxic, especially like it's to say, and it's like the problems that he lists about it. I'm like, oh, I mean, I experienced those issues just as much in music, but I think it's just because he spent more time with skateboarding and I've spent more time with music, and we look at each other's, it's like a grass is greener type of thing.
Yeah.
But
Also, when you
he
start
excels
with
in both.
something, like when it's your first thing,
Mm.
you learn all the challenges. It's probably like having your first kid versus your second kid.
Yeah, for sure. For him, that I would imagine, yeah,
Yeah.
like because he excels in both things, and I'm like, I've never excelled in skateboarding, just only music. So I only
Can
have
you
one.
ride at all? Like,
Oh yeah, I can ride. I can like ollie. I can't. I don't have any flip tricks. I have a rock to fakie that I'm really proud of, and that's pretty much it. I have like I can ollie, but I can't. I've never ollied onto something, which has really stressed me out and eluded me. Like never successfully. I've like ollied off ledges and shit, but nothing too high. But yeah, I just like I could definitely ride around and shit, but my bag of tricks is very, very shallow.
so I live on a ski mountain
Oh wow.
and I've skied like I don't know, like when you live on it, it's like not that big a deal, but I've never skateboarded, but I do feel like maybe I don't know, as like a bigger person, the freedom of going that fast
Yeah.
is something that's like unmatched. And I feel like it's probably the same skateboarding and skiing. Like when you're
Yeah,
going
definitely.
fast and you just feel the wind, you feel like a bird flying type shit.
The problem with skiing is that it's the worst one to fall. Like, out of all, like it's like falling with skis on is, ugh, it's I don't miss it at all. And now I have like a bad knee, so I really like I don't want to skateboard now, but I have no business touching one. Like I just I have no,
Yeah.
I have a bad knee now, so it's just like I really can't like take any risks. I don't have health insurance, and
Wait, I just lost health insurance like 3 days ago.
I'm so sorry, dude. Because
Did you hurt your knee from music or from?
yeah, during a show, it was actually like the week before my 30th birthday. I just jumped in the air, and when I landed, it felt like the joints in my knee went in two different directions, and I just like finished the song, and there's a picture of it actually. There's a picture of the jump, and then there's a picture of me like whispering into Gigi's ear, saying, "I think I just fucking dislocated my knee."
And you have to finish the show.
Where was it?
I said you have to finish the show.
Oh yeah, well, no, of course, dude. Like I went off stage and rubbed my knee for like 4 minutes, and then just went back on stage and finished the set. And like this whole time, like my knee is just like filling with fluid, and I like by the end of the night, I can barely walk, and
Oh,
my
hell
shit is
no.
so swollen, and it was like that for the rest of the tour. And I just like had to have my leg up like the whole time. I get injured a lot on tour, actually.
Well, you
It's
guys go
happening.
hard. It's
Yeah,
not like you guys are like, you know what I mean? Like real estate up there. Like you guys are.
yeah. It's definitely true that we go hard. And I've paid the price for it, and I will probably again. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wear a knee brace now during every set for this very. I wear two actually, two like compression
One
sleeves.
on top of the other?
Yeah, just to
Yeah.
make sure my shit
What
doesn't come out of place.
do you think that will ever affect the music you make? Like, will you make chiller music in your older age?
No, I just don't know how. Like maybe I'll
Yeah.
learn and I'll start making it, but it won't also be
Yeah.
because like my body is just too fucked up. Because hopefully by the time I'm older, I'll be able to afford healthcare and I can start getting some of this shit looked at. Because I feel like I probably would have needed some minor surgery like after that injury, but you know, like I was saying before, and I've gotten it looked at, but they're like, we can't tell you anything without a CT scan, and I'm like, well, it's like I'm not going. This is where my knowledge is going to end,
Yeah.
and it's just like more healed than it has been in the past, and I've like gotten really good at not re-injuring it. I've re-injured it like probably like 4 times since the initial injury, but it definitely is getting stronger because it takes less time to heal each time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was probably like 3 months of recovery the first time.
But but man, when I saw you, I was like, that shit's like, because I feel like, all right, I feel like a lot of people who might see your like tiny desk and shit, like you guys went hard, but they don't know how hard you really go, like when you see you live at a real show.
Yeah, they were like, I could tell that the people in the NPR studio were scared. And then, like, right before we played, they were like, we want to definitely see some motion and we want y'all to turn up. But just like, please remember that all this equipment is here and it's not cheap. And
So
everybody's
you
like,
got a warning beforehand?
oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Damn.
But they wanted us to turn up. They wanted us to mosh and shit. But they were like, please, just like, don't fuck this place up.
Yeah. What was the audience like watching that?
Oh,
Like
well, the
what?
audience was just all of our homies. They just told us to, because they just told us to invite people. So we were like, all right, cool.
That's cool. I didn't know. I always wondered if it was just like a bunch of suits just standing there
No,
with
no, it
like
was like all our,
clipboards and shit, and you're just rocking out and shit.
no, it was all our homies. Like my friend Steven was there. Keel from End It was there. Paris from No Idols and Truth Cult was there. Like it was chill. It was just like a bunch of people who I know from like Baltimore and DC area. I was just like, y'all should come down. A couple of my friend Bree, my friend Sid came down. My friend Nymph was there. Just people, like some few people from Philly came.
That's
It was
sick.
nice.
How
Yeah.
did that come together?
Um, Pretty much our publicist had been working on it. Her name is Jasmine. Shout out to her. And this dude Lars, who does the booking for Tiny Desk, like he's been a fan of us for a while and thought it would be cool to have us on. And they came to us with the idea, and I was just like, I don't know how the fuck this is going to work at all. And sometimes I don't really even know if it did, but I know people had fun. So That's all. That's all that really matters to me.
Wait, what you mean about that? You don't know
Well,
if
I
it
mean,
did.
people
That
on
shit's
the
sick.
video, or yeah, I don't know, people in the comments. I always read the comments. People be hating, but it's like,
Yeah, but if you have you ever commented on something you like? Like I just like it. Like
oh, definitely. I
haters, I
comment,
feel like haters just be commenting.
yeah, because their lives are empty.
And because it's like if you don't do it, it's fun. You know what I not fun, but like hating is like if you're sad, hating's fun.
True, true. So yeah, I don't know. Like I'm glad we did it. I didn't know how it was gonna work when we first got when they first gave like invited us, but I was like, obviously we have to do this. We have to try.
Yeah.
But you know, like you
Nah, that was
know,
dope. That's cool. I wasn't sure, so that's awesome. Thank you for
yeah.
telling that story. How did you guys all meet up in the first? How did you guys like meet, come together as a band?
The band was started by our old guitarist Ruben. And everybody who's in the band now was asked to be there by him, actually. And we just started off on some casual shit. We had these two other people in the band beforehand, and then I like it was supposed to just be we just wanted to play some shows, but now it's what it is now. It's just like I was just wanted to play local shows at first, but I realized that I was trying to write about like my life and shit, and then I met Gigi and TJ through the bands that they had at the time. Although TJ's still in the band that they were in previously, it's called Nine of Swords. Um, and Gigi had this old band called Weatherlore. And so when our old bass player was like, "This like touring and everything isn't really for me," um, Gigi was like, "Yo, what's good? I'm trying to step up." So he moved to Philly, and we've been living together up until last year. And he had been getting it in with us since then. It's probably like 2017 he joined the band.
And when did you real you said it's like bigger than when did you realize it was like bigger than that? Or did you know it was just cool from the beginning? Or like
I
do you
mean,
feel like it like is bigger than you now?
uh, well, bigger than me. Like me, like I don't know. I'm just a guy. Like the band,
Yeah.
like the band wouldn't work if it was just me. I don't feel like I'm just like I don't feel like I'm like the heart and soul of the band or anything. If that
No,
makes
I
sense.
guess that wasn't the right way to word the question. I just mean like you guys just were playing shows in the beginning and now it's like a thing. You know
Well,
what I mean?
for sure. The I mean, I gotta say, like, the only part of like being in a band that really matters to me for real is playing shows. Like, I honestly don't even care about recording, and I kind of feel like making records would have an entirely different way of happening and existing if we didn't live under capitalism. Uh, but I just like I do like being able to listen back to myself and have a physical representation of my work, but it also the way that technology has like recording technology has grown has been in order to make perfect representations of recorded music, and that's not exactly how we hear it, and that's not exactly how it's performed. And to me to me, like, shit isn't real if you can't play it live. So I don't know. I just have like a lot of feelings about that.
What do
But
you think music would be like without capitalism? What do you mean by that?
I think it would be definitely based much more on gaining the physical ability of mastering an instrument. Although I do think that there is a lot, see, like basically like technology is created to solve problems, but it also ends up creating problems. Hip hop was created out of the lack of available material and resources for Black youth to be able to create music. And I feel like if we weren't born under white supremacy in America, we wouldn't have even had to create hip hop. Although it probably maybe still would have existed because there would have been some other kind of struggle that music needed to represent. Because it's hard to know, but in general, a lot of music creating technology as it exists now is influenced by the existence and popularization of hip hop specifically more than any other genre. But digitizing music and being able to make music on a computer also, sir, it's become an equalizer for artists all over the world, and anybody, like, you don't have to have a full studio setup now to make and to create and record music. And on one hand, I'm like, that is the most beautiful aspect of creation, but also it's just an answer to a problem that was already created by the system of capitalism, because music already should have been, like, making and creating music should have already been the same for everybody. Everybody should have already had the access. But the problem is that things cost too much money. The knowledge of how to acquire, how to use this technology and these resources isn't freely distributed. And it's just like, I just, but then I don't know. I just like can put all that to the side when I think about just playing music to play it, and like being in a room with my my ensemble, my friends, or just by myself, and anybody who can hear it is my audience. And just like if we weren't living under capitalism, I would still be playing music, but I wouldn't still be playing music for money. I wouldn't, and I was like, I don't know if I'd still be making records, because I feel like I make records in order to sell them, in order to get more people to listen to me, so that I can play live. But that might not even really be true. I don't know. It's just hard to know. Because you also can record music to know what you sound like at a certain point in time, and you have a representation of the journey of your growth, and that is important. Having all of that documented is important, but to me it's still not as important as doing the thing itself. Somebody else can document it if they want to. I wouldn't necessarily feel as inclined to do so if I didn't feel like I had to.
I'll like the Grateful Dead, like the recording all the live shows and putting them out that way.
Uh-huh.
Like, is that what you're talking about? Like what you
Yeah,
think would be
yeah,
a better
yeah,
a better
yeah.
form of doing it?
That I thought that's what I would end up doing if I didn't. I wouldn't say it's better. It's just my preference, just simply because I hate recording. I just hate it. And I recorded a demo yesterday for a new band that I'm starting where I'm playing drums, and it was just like, I was just really tired at the end of it. And I was just like tired of trying to play it perfectly every single time, because that's also like not what it is for me. I literally love rock and roll because it doesn't have to be, but like I also think that nothing has to be perfect every time, like, because that's not how humans perceive things.
Yeah.
But I think it also did make me a better player, playing the songs that many times and doing that. But I also could have did that, if I just practiced more. But
Performing is like a drug,
for
like the
sure,
high you get from it. And
for
it
sure,
seems like, and this might be, if I speak out of turn or if anyone listening doesn't like what I mean, I'll take it back. But how I feel is like the business is created to make it harder for you to feel that high, and for the people who can't feel that high to milk you to do anything so you can feel that high.
I agree, and I think that we're still talking about capitalism.
I
Like when you say that,
100%, yeah,
yeah, because
100%. And then
that's
you
how,
throw social media on top of that, and you see exactly what gets views is the things that will
yeah,
get hate comments. I
and
mean,
that's how you're kept, in the cycle of consumption
yeah.
for
But it
sure.
is like, it is kind of like, how can we get these people to give everything to get this feeling of them on stage?
Exactly, because the more the more they give, the more we get. That's pretty much all capitalism is.
I feel that way with stand up. Like, I don't want to post any of my clips online. I don't give a shit. I just want the live performance, that feeling of being in an audience laughing in the moment in that room is all I care about.
So,
I don't care about the minute clip that's going to get a bunch of views, but you have to in comedy.
and that's the other thing is that social. We've also watched the we've watched like the meaning and the goal and the tactics of like social media change. Like when we were first introduced to social media, like when we were first introduced to MySpace, it was supposed to be a place for friends. That was the tagline, and that was the way that we um, were meant to understand, like what was social media at the time. It wasn't supposed to be a popularity contest, and it wasn't supposed to be um, how you brand yourself and how you can become like how you can monetize every aspect of your existence and turn yourself into a business. But that was taught to us because that's what capitalism does.
But you need health insurance, so you better
Exactly.
get to a label that'll
Exactly.
give you your health insurance.
Exactly. We don't make enough money for Epitaph to give us to pay for our health insurance yet, but maybe that'll change with the next album.
Yeah. I bet people don't realize that though. Like the fans probably don't know. They probably think you guys, like you made it for what you do, you know?
I mean, for what we do, we have made it. Punk
And
fans
you
do.
have, but I'm talking
That's
about
the
to
sad
make
thing.
a sustainable living off of like my
Oh yeah.
health, like
Oh yeah. No, I have 5 jobs. Like it's not the '90s anymore. Like niggas like still have to have jobs. You can't just like you can't you can't have a music video on rotation on MTV. You just put it up on YouTube for no money. You feel me? Like people got paid for being on MTV.
yeah. You're gonna get like $200 from your YouTube.
Yeah, people got paid for like being on the radio and shit. And that's still, some people still get on the radio and internet radio and stuff and playlists and all that. But videos, you don't make money off of that no more.
Yeah, no. How
Like
about it's touring? It's back to touring though.
it's always touring. And I wouldn't say it's back to touring because also like people were able to play in larger venues for less money, or and charge less money because there was revenue coming from other places. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jackson playing a stadium show that costs $15, not just because of inflation, making the price much cheaper, making the ticket price much cheaper, but also because he's getting money from his shit being on the radio. He's getting money from his shit being on MTV. He's getting money from like all kinds of licensing and shit that many, many other artists, now have to fight for. to be paid adequately with.
Yeah. And then you have to, yeah, then you have to make the recordings to then try to like, I get it. It's
Yeah.
like it's a weird fucked up cycle. If you were in charge, what would you do?
Well, I'm not really like a businessman either. I'm just able to understand aspects of what's happening. Um, so I guess my first question is, what would I be in charge of? Because it
You're
depends on.
Mr. Music in this scenario.
Like, I'm Mr. Music. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm in charge of like whether there is a music
Yeah,
industry.
you could, there's a switch behind you that if you turn on all music is gone.
Well, the music would still be there, but I mean, if I could turn off capitalism, it would also affect way more than just music. I
Yeah,
would
there's
think,
a little bit bigger switch right next to it, and
yeah.
that's his
So
capitalism
I
above
think now the question is, am I just God?
it.
What would you do if you were God? Okay, so
Yeah, that's a better question.
all right. Well, first I would fix my knee and my ankle and my brain.
Oh,
I I would fix all of those.
I
And
think this is the I took a lot of mushrooms yesterday. I feel like
dude,
that.
I've been meaning to take mushrooms. I haven't in like it's been forever. I think it's been over a year or two, and I usually don't go that long, but I just for some reason haven't been into tripping, and I really need to get back to it because I feel like my spirit has needed it.
Yeah, what was
Uh,
your last trip like? Or have you had any
kind of
crazy
think, yeah,
trips?
because like what I can't. I'm trying to think about what even was my last trip, and I'm not sure I know.
I was
I feel
taking
like
Emerald Gate Space Monkeys. Shout out Mystic Fruits.
hell yeah. I I'm gonna be so for real. Like the last trip that I specifically remember was during quarantine. Damn, son, that shit looked like the shit that the fucking Avatar rides on.
Them shits was good. I took
Um,
them and went skiing
that sounds beautiful. Actually, that sounds. Where do you live at? Maybe you can't say.
in Massachusetts.
Oh, Massachusetts. Okay,
Yeah, Central Massachusetts.
okay. Yeah, I bet you there's some good ass skiing up there. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I've been meaning. So I think the last trip that I can remember, and I'm pretty sure this might have just been my last trip, but it actually would make sense. And you're about to hear why. Is I took 6 tabs of acid in quarantine. Uh, me, me and Gigi did actually. It was like we had one every hour, but then I think
You had one every hour.
I'm pretty sure. No, I did trip since then because I tripped during when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl. I was on acid because I thought we were gonna win.
Don't do it again this week.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, but I'm gonna be on the West
Wait, you
Coast.
gotta tell that you took one tab of acid every hour for 6 hours?
Well, actually, I started off with 3, and then I took one every hour for 3 hours. But yeah, and that was the shit. I was tripping for like a day and a half. It was crazy. Uh, that shit was crazy.
You leave with anything? Any knowledge? Any weird visual?
The knowledge is definitely that I don't need to be tripping for a day and a half. It was like it was exhausting actually. Like going to sleep and waking up and you're still tripping is
Yeah, no, thank you.
like I've tripped a lot. You know what I'm saying? I've tripped a lot by myself a lot. So I feel like I'm pretty expert at taking hallucinogens, but like that was a lot. I didn't need to do all
Yeah.
that. I
I'm
just
more
was
of a
like
mushroom guy than an acid guy.
they do different things, but I I like them both, but they definitely do different things for me. They take me to different places.
You ever done DMT?
Yes, actually, I have. Someone gave me a DMT vape pen when I was on tour. Few like a few like probably like a year ago, and that shit. I like tried it, but it didn't really do much for me, and I think that's because of my antidepressants. My girlfriend tried it, and it she was she was different for a few hours.
For a few hours?
Yeah, Yeah, this is straight up vape pen. Like this guy just gave it to me.
Wait, that sounds crazy. I don't know if that sounds crazy. A few hours sounds crazy.
She like hit it and then just like leaned in. She was like sitting cross-legged and she just kind of leaned forward with her head in her lap and just like laid like that for like an hour or two.
I don't know. That's not, it's only supposed to be like 15 minutes. I've done it a bunch of times. I've
Yeah, I
never
don't know.
heard it for 2 hours.
Yeah, it really affected her. I don't
I
know.
bet. Damn. That's crazy because I've gone to different places. Like I've fully broken through, but it's never been more than like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not. All I know is that nothing really happened for me when I hit it, and I was really disappointed because I was ready. I was like, I've been trying to take DMT for mad long,
Yeah,
and
you kind of got to do the same thing. If you have a cart, you have to smoke like half the cart in one
oh,
hit. It's not even like that fun.
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Cause like if you do it normally, you do it like cause I had like whatever, like a shaman walk me through it.
Yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
like you hit it out of a dab rig. So it gets so hot that it just burns like whatever the third of a gram or half a gram that you put in.
Hmm.
And then but with the vape pen, it doesn't get that hot. So you have to burn so much that it's like sizzling when you take that last hit.
Have you ever vaped a research chemical?
No, I have not.
I smoked a research chemical out of a base pipe once, and that shit was insane.
What happened?
The dude who was like walking me through was like, okay, it's gonna come on really really fast, and and I was just like, expect. I thought that meant probably within like 5 minutes. As I'm blowing out the hit, shit is like it's like it's like the strongest visual hallucinations. Like top five strongest visual hallucination trips I've ever had. It's like he's like telling me this. It's like it's gonna come on really fast. I'm like okay, as I'm like hitting the pipe, and I blow it out, and like shit starts like moving. Like the rug I'm on starts moving as I'm blowing out the hit, and I'm like holy shit.
What's number one on that list?
That would be the time where I drank an eighth of mushroom tea mixed with yerba mate, and I drank it. I steeped it hot, and then I iced it, and so I drank it really really fast. And I rode my bike to this rock park in Philly, and at one point I like closed my eyes and opened them again, and it was like nighttime, even though it was like the middle of the day. Like everything was like black and I could only see like the outlines of things. And I was like standing next to this rock, and I could see like the minerals in the rock shining, but everything else around me was dark. And I like blinked a couple times, and like it was still just like black. And I like, just like shut my eyes again, and then opened them, and it was just like daytime again. Like that shit
That's
was
fucked up.
was insane.
That shit's crazy. You're like,
Yeah,
is anyone else? Is it nighttime for everyone else?
I was by myself.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, drinking an eighth of mushrooms.
And then cooling it. The cooling it's where you fucked up.
Exactly, cause I just it was so hot that day, dude. It was like the middle of the summer, and it was like I was like, it was like the middle of the heat wave, and I was just like, I put some fucking. I remember I put some agave in there and a little bit of black pepper. It was delicious, and I that shit like quenched my thirst so deeply, and then I just tripped balls for like
But
eight
then it
hours.
turned into night. That's crazy. Have you ever
Yeah.
performed tripping?
On acid, yes. On mushrooms, I don't think so. But on acid, for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know why I said for sure, but I guess
You're
because
like,
I
I
can
have
remember.
to. You're
Yeah,
like,
I
I
can
won't
remember the
drink. I
time.
won't drink, but I will drop a tab every time.
The first time I think I've probably eaten mushrooms there, like before, so Will said. But I just remember the first time we went to California, we played in Oakland, and like I think everybody except our drummer ate a tab of acid, and we were and we were like, yeah, we were tripping.
That's fun.
Yeah,
That's cool. I guess this will be the last question before we wrap up. Thank you so much for doing this. This
Oh
is a
yeah, no
dope
sweat.
conversation. And now, you know what? Now I was gonna be like, what's the best show you've ever had? But that's such an insincere question to end on.
There's a lot. I just like, I mean, I like the shows where everybody just like doesn't give a fuck and there's like a bunch of stage diving.
Yeah. What's the
It's just
best performance you've ever seen? I guess I like
best
that
performance I've
question better.
ever seen.
Yeah.
Best performance I've ever
Yeah, this is the
seen.
only interview where I take questions back.
Best performance I've ever seen. The
Yeah.
first thing that comes to mind is the first concert I ever went to, which was Prince. And, I guess just like nothing I feel like really can top that experience. Um, However, I did see Evanescence over the summer and it was incredible. It was like,
I did not
like
expect you to say Evanescence.
they are really fucking good live, I have to say. And like she's really singing that shit live. And when they did Bring Me to Life, she did the rap part as well. And I I lost my shit. I really fell out when she started because I knew that it was like a feature. It's like the dude from I want to say Everlast, but I'm probably wrong. Actually, I also think Everlast is just one guy. But
Wait, isn't
yeah,
Everlast in House of Pain?
yeah, okay, yeah. That's what it is. So it can't be that. It's somebody else. I don't know who the fuck it is, but
Wait, what? I'm gonna look this up.
yeah, who the feature is. I actually want to know. I just didn't want to look it up. But that was really good. Um, Seeing Kendrick Lamar in Spain was really good for Primavera Festival.
Paul McCoy, the lead singer of the band 12 Stones.
Okay, I don't know who the hell that
Who
is.
the fuck is Paul McCoy?
That's who the feature is. Interesting. But yeah, seeing Kendrick in Spain was sick.
I saw Kendrick
Uh,
open for Steve Aoki once, and that was crazy.
fuck. That is weird.
Yeah, this was the week Good Kid, Mad City dropped.
Wow, man, it was such a different time when that album came out. Because that was like the sound of my like sophomore year in college. Maybe it was my freshman year, and it's just like I don't know. It's just funny to think about how much has changed since then.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that was a good time.
yeah, it really was. If I could tell that version of me everything that would happen between now and then,
What would you say if you got like one sentence to tell him?
oh, it wouldn't even be about music. It would probably be not to date the person that I was dating, but I'm
You
gonna go
have the
break up with
knowledge
that
of
bitch
Earth,
right
and
now,
you're like, stop
dude.
fucking.
Break up with this bitch, dude. She's going to
Damn, she
realize,
sucked that bad.
dude, you're gonna be in therapy for years because of her, dude. Like,
Damn, she sucked that bad.
yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. It's bad. Full gamut of abuse. But we're not gonna talk about all that.
Damn.
But yeah, seeing Kendrick in Spain was tight. See, I saw the Jesus Lizard over the summer as well, and they really surprised me. Because I just didn't know any. Like I didn't really know anything about them. Like I knew like there's like kind of what they sounded like, but they're fucking great live. Um, I saw System of a Down in 2007. That definitely was a life changing experience. They headlined Ozfest.
Fire.
Um, I mean, Ozfest 2007 in general was definitely one of the best show experiences of my life. Shit, what else? I don't know, seeing like the band Hum at the fest in Gainesville, seeing Comeback Kid at Fest, they're cool. Shit. Seeing fucking Eve's two more from backstage at Coachella. It's pretty
Oh,
crazy.
bro, yeah.
And then I like walk right out of that area after he's done, and like Tyler the Creator is right there, and he tells me he likes my Chris Dorner T-shirt, and I'm like, okay,
Yo, Yves Two More is sick.
Yeah. I don't really follow his music too deeply, but like our
No,
guitar
but that
player,
one album he did is like one of my favorites. The
I
one.
really enjoyed it live. I've seen him live twice, and which is really funny because, like I said, I'm not that deep of a listener, but he's a really great live performer.
Heaven to a Tortured Mind. That's the album I love.
Yeah, I do wish like Bad Bunny also headlined that year. I'm a huge Bad Bunny fan, but my body was just not. I did not have it in me because I'd been up since like 6 a.m. and he performed at like 1 a.m. and I
Yeah.
just did not have it in me to see him. But yeah, from what I heard, that Bad Bunny, like 'cause I could hear the performance and it sounded amazing. Um, Shit, what else? I don't even fucking best performances. Hmm. I saw Children of Bodom in Baltimore when I was a child, or when I was a teenager. They were sick. I saw Captain Jazz's first reunion was very, very good. I've seen Alex G a million times because we went to college together.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, so I've seen him in like basements and shit.
That's
Like,
cool.
yeah, like I've seen him just like playing guitar drunk at parties. So, um, my band in high school played a show with his old band, the Skin Cells, and our friend shout out to Jake Schwab at his parents' house, and that band was really underrated. Like, he's just like a different guy now. He's like a whole like grown man and musician, but the Skin Cells were fire. It's him and Sam, who also Sam Ackyon, who plays in his band, and then his brother, whose name is I think Colin. If I could be wrong about that. But yeah, shout out to Alex G. He's cool as fuck. Really
You ever
real
seen
dude.
Future Islands perform?
I never have, no.
They're really good. That's one of the best.
True, true.
Kurt Vile. I love Kurt Vile.
Oh yeah, he's from
So,
Philly.
yeah.
Um, who else? Um, I mean, shout out to 1994. I just gotta shout them out because I learned how to play drums largely because of them. They're this Philly punk band, like indie punk type band that with crazy ass drumming, crazy ass guitar playing. Just two-piece band, very amazing. Their drummer lives in Belgium now. His name is
Two piece. Wow.
he performs under the name Nah. Yeah, shout out to him. Seen some really amazing performances with them. Uh, I almost saw MF Doom, but I got lost in New York on the way to the shows. Rock the Bells 2011. But I did get to see Raekwon and Ghostface do all Cuban links, which was tight.
That's sick. Damn, but you missed MF Doom.
Yeah. I try not to think about it too much because it it really bums me out
Yeah.
because that was like the main thing that I was trying to see that day. But we got lost in New York instead because we were fucking 19 and didn't know anything about shit. Uh, yeah, I don't know. What else? What else? Saw Iron Maiden play to like 30,000 people in France like a couple summers ago. That shit was crazy.
Damn.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. That's just some highlights, I guess.
That's a good list right there.
Yeah, not a bad list.
That's a good list.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
seeing Stanley Clark and Bela Fleck. Bela Fleck just he's a bluegrass legend. He's got a Grammy 2 nights ago with for playing with Chick Corea, who is
oh wow.
he's you know Chick Corea?
Yeah.
Yeah. That dude's a fucking weirdo. But shout out to Stanley Clark because he started Return of the Forever with Stanley Clark. That's my number one musical influence right there, besides Prince, I would say. And
Oh really?
say, yeah, I'm a bass player at heart, and I was raised on Stanley Clark's music. Like my dad is, that's like my dad's favorite artist. He's just like, yeah. So, yeah, shout out to Stanley Clark forever, and shout out to Bela Fleck. He definitely deserves that Grammy. He's a fucking like banjo wizard. It's crazy.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I would say just to end on one last performance that I was backstage and I got to see Bun B perform, and
Oh, fuck yeah.
that was incredible. True, I almost got like when they were doing International Players Anthem, he did Pimp C.
I would have cried,
Bro,
dude.
I got
Yo,
emotional. I was
wait, he
backstage.
did
I was like,
Pimp C's verse.
yeah.
Oh my god, no, I would have cried. Yeah, I would have fucking cried, dude.
And they played Andre's shit. Like it was just like, bro, that shit. Yeah. Shout out Bun
Oh,
B,
I
legend.
definitely gotta add too. I saw Migos at Made in America in like 2015 or something like that, and I thought I was going to fucking die in that crowd, dude. Like, it was insane. It was like scarier than any hardcore show I've been to, except maybe Hatebreed at that Ozfest that I mentioned. Like they opened with Hannah Montana and they played that beat for like 2 minutes before they even came out, and they just came out and just dropped it and the whole fucking place exploded. It was terrifying. It was like, because there was no way you could get out of the crowd. You're in a crowd of like 20,000 people. It's like it was scary as fuck.
Some of the rap mosh pits are crazy now.
Yeah, I mean, just because there's so many people.
Yeah. Playboy Cardi, I was like, this is dangerous when I was like,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna die in this shit.
Yeah, for real. These kids don't give a fuck about their life.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah. Rest in peace, Takeoff. If you told me I've been saying this. If you told me 10 years ago that Migos would be done and Takeoff would be dead, I would spit in your face. Like, I cannot believe that this is the reality we're living.
And then he only released one album.
Yeah, yeah. It kills me.
Yeah, it's sad. I remember finding them before Drake topped on the remix. That was like one
Yeah,
of my, though I loved those guys.
yeah. Um,
Like Rich Than Fame, Rather Be Rich Than Famous, I think was the
yeah.
first. Yeah,
It was why.
YRN.
Yeah, I got into YRN like like that mixtape is so fucking good. Like they are rapping their asses off on that shit. Like Across the Country is a really insane song. Like they are really going hard on a lot of those songs, and I feel like it's now just kind of like second nature. But them niggas was they were killing themselves in the booth. Like they were
Yeah.
going so fucking hard.
Well, that's how I felt about Thug, like when I heard 1017 Thug, like when
Yeah,
Gucci first signed him and shit, like Two Cup stuffed. Like if you go back, it sounds like everything, but nothing was like that back in those days. Like
yeah,
no one was making the melodic, that like weird voice singing shit.
yeah. While also like saying a lot of words really quickly.
Hmm.
And then you guys they're all like fucked up as hell while doing it. It's like I don't understand how really.
Wait, I'll end on this. There's this dude Tetsuo, he's from Nigeria, and you're talking about rapping a lot of words. He's truly one of I don't know, he probably has like 1,000 followers or something. He's truly one of my favorite rappers.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it for a second.
Shout out Tetsuo from Nigeria.
Scholar, much louder, in charge of trading, barter going longer. Ever stronger, the chess piece and squanders your honor. Much larger response to brother problem solving quarter. Then the was bounding off in the standing sport, brown hanging lectures dumbfounded, turn around.
Just crazy.
Yeah, that's what's up. I gotta listen to that.
I know that probably sounded like shit right there, but I'll text it to you or I'll
You ever listen to
message.
Bus Driver?
I love Bus Driver's
Yeah,
music.
I'm a huge fan of his. I would love to work with him. Like I've admired him so much for so because he was like when we were talking about Def Jux and shit. That's another artist who I was like, oh, there is rap music that I feel like is being made for like geeky ass dudes from the suburbs like me.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Serengeti?
Of course.
The whole
That,
Kenny Dennis shit's like some of my favorite shit in the whole world. He created a whole universe.
that song Dennehy is a fucking classic.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Would you ever put out like a rap-ish album?
I'm gonna be so real with you, man. I've been making solo music, and I don't know when I'm gonna drop it. Maybe I like, but because I was like, I have a few songs, and like I have a concept and everything, and I started to get really self conscious about it, and I stopped working on it. But I've kind of gained some knowledge recently that's made me want to start working on it. Like this is like a very recent development. I'm talking like last weekend, and I have some other work to do today, but I'm hoping to get to this and do some work on my solo music later today.
Sick. I would love to hear it.
Yeah, if it gets to a point where I can if it gets to a point where I can start feeling a little more confident and getting ready to start doing like thinking about uh like having like it would be like my demo basically, or like my first EP.
Yeah,
I would start. I'll send it to you. I'll have you be one
cool.
of
Think
the.
about Serengeti. He wears a fake mustache and raps in character. You could
He's
do
a
a
good, but he's a
concept
good
album.
ass rapper. Even even rapping as a joke, his songs are good.
Literally. You
But
ever
yeah,
hear that album he did with Kenny Siegel? Ajay?
I don't know about this.
Oh, it's
I
a
didn't know
whole
he worked with Kenny
concept
Steele.
album about a kid who's obsessed with shoes and he meets Kenny Dennis and they have like a weird falling out and like, bro, it's crazy.
I'm gonna have to listen to
He
that.
raps in like five different characters on the album.
That dude sounds like he smokes a lot of weed.
Or none at all. Sometimes
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
like that's just like his normal brain.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd like to hear that. And I'm gonna use you as one of my what is like once my shit is done, once the Money Nigga demo is done. I can't say the title yet because
Yeah, I
I don't want
feel
to
you.
jinx it. But you'll be one of my like sources, one of my new sources.
Oh,
If you're
I'd
cool
love
with
to.
that,
Yeah, 100%.
I'll have you premiere one of the songs.
Oh, that would be sick. I'd love that. Awesome. Thank you, man. This was such a good conversation. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me. I've had fun too.
And yeah, have a good rest of your day. I'll talk
All
to you
right, bro.
later.
Peace.